Welcome, everybody. It's episode 2 of On My X. It's Wes Price, aka Clutch, and I'm joined by the usual suspects: Hunter JJX, also known as Justin Joseph, and then Faisal Khan, nicknamed Goofy for a reason. What's going on, guys?
What's good?
What's up, everybody? Back for another episode. Let's do it.
All right, guys. So we had some heartful news this past week in the Halo community. 343 Industries came out and announced that Halo Infinite is going to be delayed for quite a bit. I heard a lot of takes on this, a lot of different things seeing over Twitter. Faisal, what's your opinion on this matter?
So for me, honestly, I think my thoughts on Halo Infinite being postponed are pretty standard, I would say, throughout the community. So the way I feel about it is I am definitely sad because as a Halo fan, I was really looking forward to getting my hands on the game this year, with the Xbox Series X releasing. It was supposed to be something, like a grand slam, and in both regards, right? We get the new Xbox and we get a new Halo. So the fan in me is very sad. I can't help but think that, it's been about close to 5 years, I want to say, since the last Halo. So, the glaring question almost is, it's already been 5 years. You'd think that's enough time for the game to be ready. But again, when my brain kind of kicks in and I try to take a step back and think about it, ultimately, I think it's a good move. And I'll tell you why. It's because I would rather wait and have a polished, finished product than kind of something be rushed and we, as a community, get something that's not up to par or up to our expectations. So, long story short, I'm sad that it got delayed as a Halo fan, but I ultimately think it's a good decision and it's going to be what's best for the game.
Yeah, Wes, you kind of cracked me up, bro. You were like 343 Industries came out, and now it's not like he's not the guy behind the scenes. We all know you made that decision, bro. You're the one that pulled the trigger.
I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself. I respect the answer you gave, Faisal. I definitely share sentiments, and I'm looking forward to the future, but it needs to be at the right time.
Yeah, I think all of us, Faisal and I were talking about earlier this week, I think we're on the same page. It's like, obviously it's a bummer that we're not getting a new Halo game this year. We thought 2020 was going to be the year, but I would rather wait and have it be what we all hope and dream it's going to be. So, we're sad, but at the same time, I'm hopeful, and I just can't wait to get my hands on it. I think we can all, agree that we're just excited to play it. So when it drops,
totally.
We'll be there. It's an exciting time though. Outside of that, we got the NBA playoffs, kicking off, which is awesome. We're glad sports are back. We've also got the MCC Pro Series returning, which is going to be awesome. For those of you that don't know how that works, it's like every weekend, first we have an open tournament followed by a pro tournament. The top teams from the open event qualify for the pro event, and it just goes through that kind of cycle. So this next weekend, the 22nd of August, we're going to have our first open cup, MCC Cup. And don't let the name open fool you guys at all. There's some serious heavy hitters coming out. One of the teams I saw playing last night when I was on stream was it was like Roy, Flamesword, Neighbor, and Hysteria. Like they were gearing up. They're going to be playing through the open tournament. So there's going to be some hitters, not something to overlook at all just because it's called open. So with that being said, Wes, are there any teams or players or anybody you're looking out for?
Yeah, love this topic. Absolutely love seeing all the familiar names. To your point, Roy being playing again is always something special. But there's one guy that's really close to my heart that I love watching compete, love competing with him, and I got my eyes out on him, and he's been putting in the time and the effort, and I'm really excited to see him compete in that open bracket potentially, and that's going to be Maniac. And love the guy, like I said, had a lot of success with this guy, and this guy can play some damn good Halo 3, so very excited to see what he brings to the table come tournament time when he gets the right team involved.
Definitely. I love that answer. Honestly, I think everyone here on All My X is a Maniac fan. Overall, a great guy and just good for the community. He's so successful in different ways, and the fact that he's back and competing, yeah, definitely looking out for him. For me, the player I'm going to be looking out for is actually one that Justin introed the topic with, and that's Roy Borg, right? Roy is a Halo legend, a name that you fear when it comes to Halo 3, and he's come back multiple times when Halo 3 has returned as far as being the main competitive game. So at first, I was a little bit surprised to see him playing and streaming again, obviously happy, but surprised. And then it made sense to me. I'm like, man, it's Halo 3. Roy always dominates in this game. Even in the prime of Halo, when in the prime of Halo 3, I should say, Roy's BR was known as, the best BR in Halo 3. He was kind of notorious for that. So excited to see him compete in this open series, in the Open Cup, I should say. And, alongside Hysteria, Flame Sword, and who is their fourth you said they were playing with? Hysteria, Roy,
Neighbor,
and Neighbor. Yeah. So 4
Yeah.
legends. So look out for everyone on that team. I expect them to make, big waves in the open, open tournament, the first open tournament. And, especially Royborg, I'm going to be keeping my eye out for him.
Yeah, Roy's obviously our boy. Let's be honest. There's no denying that. Maniac, obviously a fan favorite. However, Maniac did remove my BTH privileges in the Discord, so I'm going to need those back if you're watching. Send those back. Thank you. But for me, I'm looking out for kind of a special group of players. I would say I'd call them the lifers. It's kind of like the Halo 3 guys that have never stopped playing the game, that have lived and breathed this game for the last 13 years. They're getting another chance. Again, another chance to jump in and show what they're worth. I'm talking about players like Tylenol, Catastrophe, Evader, all the dudes that have been just mollywopping me in playlists, with all the tricks that they've learned that I have never seen before. I think it's cool that we get to see, like, in these moments, we'll get to see the old guard taking on, the guys that are kind of the newer, younger guns that have just been loving Halo 3 and playing it nonstop. And so it's always fun for me to see old versus new. And in that sense, I'm really looking forward to it. I think that these open and pro tournaments are going to be a lot more hotly contested than we even saw with H2A. So, and with Halo 3, everybody loves Halo 3. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I'm personally excited to see Catastrophe and Tylenol go against some of the best in a tournament setting as well, because those guys have been putting in the work online, and hard work pays off. Yeah. Absolutely. Hard work pays off. So we got onto during that segment, you mentioned Roy, and you were talking about how he had the best BR, and I think everybody remembers him having the best BR in Halo 3, Faisal. But the next topic I want to bring up for the show has got to be, who is the greatest sniper of all time? Because you can do it with the BR, Roy, but there were people that did it better with the snipe than you in Halo 3 and in Reach. And I'm gonna have to pass this one back to you, Faisal. So you said Roy had the best BR. Who had the best sniper of all time?
Okay, so my answer to this question, some may consider it a hot take, but others, and I would say well-informed people, would not consider it a hot take. Okay, so the fact that I have to preface it like that may scare you, but
I already know that this is a bad answer based off that.
It's not. It's really not. And I genuinely believe that Formal was the best sniper of all time. Now, let me explain my answer. Obviously, I have to kind of lay some kind of foundation to my answer. So obviously his timeline is short, right? Formal switched over to Call of Duty at the end of Halo 4. At the end of Halo 4, he transitioned to Call of Duty. But before doing so, he actually competed in the MCC Halo 2 Anniversary Launch Invitational. So his last Halo tournament that he competed in, he actually won first place, and that was it. He never played Halo again. So he not only did he finish off his Halo career with a win, and then he just goes off into the sunset with Call of Duty and starts winning, multiple titles in Call of Duty. In the community, he became known as the best sniper in COD, arguably. So that just shows, obviously, Formal is any game you play with, he's a disgusting sniper. Now names, like Snipe Down, Royal 2 obviously came to mind as well. But my answer is solely based off of my experience playing against these guys. Obviously Royal 2, you can't say enough about him, but something about Formal, Matt Piper, that guy was disgusting. He won multiple tournaments in Halo 4. I mean, some wouldn't consider those tournaments to be as meaningful, obviously, as some of the bigger scaled ones. But even players like Lethal, APG, these guys that you all know and love, some of the best names in Halo, these guys would consider Formal one of the best players they've ever played with. People that they were looking at a team with Formal anytime they could. Players like Lethal and APG, big time names. And, if he hadn't gone to COD, I think he would continue to be teaming with these kinds of players and still be winning tournaments in Halo today. So that's going to be my answer. Obviously, honorable mentions to Snipe Down and Royal 2. But as far as in their time period, who is the best sniper? It's Formal. Come on.
You can't even bring up a Halo 4 snipe because you didn't even get descoped.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
My sister can snipe in Halo 4.
What about Halo Reach? How about Halo Reach?
All right, he was cold, but
he dominated Halo Reach.
But that was 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, the only time he played, he won. He was a winner. You know, people like obviously Lethal and Royal 2, these guys won a lot too, but Formal's time window was so small. He was an amateur. He came onto a pro team, started winning tournaments like so quick.
His time, I'm no doubt, Formal was one of the most individually skilled players we've had in Halo. That's not the argument. But of all time, sniper, I'm gonna let Hunter go first. Before I give my answer.
Yeah, I was laughing with the Formal pick too, just because like, I mean, he's so talented, man. He's so good. I love Matt. I've known him for a long time. Fun fact, in Halo 3, for a couple of weeks, his gamer tag was Little Hunter JJX. Like, not like lying. Like, I've known that guy for a long time. Yeah, you could ask him about that.
JJX was the best sniper of all time.
I used to drive 4 hours to his house to pick him up, and then drive 3 hours the other way to a local, then take him back, and like all that. So, love the kid. I've known the talent for a long time. He's up there, but like. But the question right here on the screen, it says of all time clearly. And so you have to look at someone's body of work in order to discern who's going to be of all time. And for me, there's no one more iconic than Snipedown, period. Like, I don't care. I've played against Snipedown since his gamer tag was Talk Snipedown in Halo 2, and he was doing it then. He wasn't going to events yet, but everybody saw him coming. Everybody knew he was in the lobbies. Everybody knew that kid was going to be nasty when he showed up. He goes to Halo 3, basically has to replace who at the time was the sniper to beat Neighbor on Straight Rip, and he takes that spot. He rises to that occasion, that mantle, and absolutely just goes off on that Straight Rippin' roster. We remember they obviously contested TD, the whole deal. I remember watching a VOD of Straight when like, it was when they would have those random matches where they weren't casted, but you can like hear all the comms in the game. I remember T-Squared literally saying to him like, Eric, you're not getting enough snipers. Like, you need to get more snipers. Stop worrying about objective. Literally said to him, stop doing objective. I need you to get more snipers. Like, that's the level of like, you know, dominance when that guy has that weapon. Then we go to Halo Reach, we go to Halo 4, we go to Halo 5, and it's just nonstop, time and time again. And the reason why Snipedown for me is the greatest sniper of all time is because he obviously knows how to position himself and put himself in the right spots on the map, which I think is like huge as a sniper. You got to know how to play your life well. But when it came down time to like hit a crazy shot, like when it was like he had no other choice but to hit the shot, or, you know, they lose or the objective is gone or whatever, 9 times out of 10 that dude would find a way to hit the shot, you know. And so for me, when I hear sniper in my head, I know his name is Snipedown, but it just automatically goes to him, man. Like, it just does. And he's just been doing it for so long, and we can't take that for granted.
Yeah, I think Eric Rona has solidified his place in Halo esports, and definitely a top 3 all-time sniper. But for me personally, when I ask myself, who is the greatest sniper of all time? When I hear that question, I think to myself, like, someone has me at gunpoint and I need this person to hit this headshot in order for me not to get shot. And I would trust my life with no one other than Royal 2. I had the pleasure of teaming with this kid, and I knew from the get-go when he was 15 years old that he was going to be the greatest of all time. And the things that I got to sit next to him and see at a tournament in a situation where it was do or die, our backs are against the line. I'll tell a short story real quick. Faisal, you were a part of this. It's game 6.
Let's stop. Okay, we could just switch the topic right now.
I'll speed it up. It's game 6. We're down 8. There's like a minute and a half left.
I still have nightmares.
Royal 2 is no shield running out of our sword. There are 2 players chasing him. He jumps off the sword ledge into our runway, but by the time his feet hit the ground, he no-scopes 2 people in the face. Absolutely no shit. And it was by far the craziest thing that I saw in my death cam of all time. And time after time did I see Royal 2 just do things that I would think were impossible, or were things that I would think only Jesus Christ with a controller could do. And because of that, he is my greatest sniper of all time.
Yeah. No, honestly, you guys, you'll have no pushback from me on both your answers. Snipedown, you think of that name, and he's, like you said, Hunter, he's done it for so long. Halo 2, he was kind of making his name, and then Halo 3 comes onto the scene, and boom, instantly starts gets on a top team with triggers down initially, then on to straight rip in, and then just starts winning and doesn't look back. And he did it for a long time, like you said. And Royal 2, on the other hand, man, world champion, the best sniper on the best team. So that's definitely both solid answers. For me, it's just like I pick Formal because obviously you guys have too, but I've played against these guys, right? I've played against Roll 2 at tournaments. I've played against Snipe Down. I've played against Formal. And maybe it's just a play style in general. And I'm kind of taking that into consideration, like him as an overall player. And I know the question is just sniper, but something about him with power weapons, or him even specifically with the sniper, he would just do big things with confidence every time. And I know his run was short, but that short run spoke. I speak highly of that short run, and I think people in the Halo community really need to recognize and realize how good he was, when he played Halo. With that being said, everybody, those are our thoughts. It looks like
we're not done.
I got one more thing.
We're not done.
All right, so
we're not done. You're right.
This is something. All right, so the Formal Royal 2 discussion is something that has gone on for over a decade, because me and Lethal used to always go back and forth, and Lethal says Formal. Or did back in Reach days.
Boom.
And
see, I don't even know that.
But the day came where it was Nats 2011 and Reach, and it was Formal versus Royal 2 in the losers bracket. And I remember it like it was yesterday. This is a little story for Snakebite, Dursky, and Royal 2 that we all had this inside joke that we'll say, where Formal, it was Nexus King. We're up 2-0 in the series. They're about to get 3-0, by the way. Spoiler alert. And Formal gets the snipe, and he goes on like he gets a couple of nice kills and gets his team a little bit of a lead. And then halfway through the game, Royal 2 gets a snipe. And I just remember Royal 2 no-scoping a guy. He's top the base, no-scopes a guy top middle, and then quick-scopes Formal like top the other base for a double. And everyone in the map is dead, and all of a sudden I just yell, "Yeah, we got 1-2." And
That's one tournament, one series. I can bring up tournaments where Formal has beaten Royal 2.
You could, but it wasn't in the national championship, so it was a little bit less of a scale.
Okay.
So in the biggest moment of the year, in the biggest series for both of them to match up against each other, and Royal 2 to get the better of Formal like he did, I mean, I'm not going to say it's just down to that, because Royal 2's longevity also gives him the little bit of a wedge. But honestly, guys, all three are probably top 5 greatest of all time if we wanted to introduce a couple other names, but there's always going to be a debate for those guys.
I think the thing though is like, and I'll tell you why I picked Snipe Down over Royal 2 or I don't even think I need to say why I picked him over Formal. I think the all-time thing is, Formal would have had to have I think transcendent impact over his short period of time in order to be in the all-time discussion for me, because like for me personally, when I think of like short-term snipers, like Shotzi did some stuff that we've never seen another man do with the sniper rifle, the way he used it in Halo 5 with his movement.
Too. Just and, in my opinion, incredible. Like the longevity, it just depends on how you see the question. Like, who is the greatest sniper of all time?
That's like calling Brandon Roy the greatest three-point shooter of all time.
Most people don't even know who Brandon Roy is, bro.
I guess it depends on how you interpret the question. Like for me, it's like boom, like when they played and this person, like who on the other team, if they have the sniper rifle throughout Halo's history, would you be like the most scared if that person has a snipe?
I want Snipe Down to have it, bro. I'll tell you why right now. I think I would rather have Snipe Down over Royal 2 on my team with the sniper rifle. The reason is Royal 2 to me is the player where he's going to hit every single shot that he's supposed to hit, right? He's damn near perfect with his aim. Royal 2 is. But the thing about Royal 2 is he's safe almost to a fault for me. I feel like he kind of is like a baiter. Like you need to bait. You need to keep your life alive.
You're talking about Snipe Down here, not Royal 2.
That's what I was going to say.
I see Royal 2 so far away.
No. So Royal 2 and that's probably a great. You actually helped my argument, low key, because
I'm
Royal 2 and a Snipe Down. Honestly, I don't think Wesley will be happy with my answer, because Royal 2 and Snipe Down, I think both kind of are those, and don't get me wrong, they hit their shots like no one else, right? But they are both kind of that sit back, passive sniper. And mind you, like it's brought them great success, so it works. But when I think of Formal, I think of him kind of like an aggressive sniper that hits shots. Like he'll pull up with the sniper and knowing he'll quick scope everybody. Like he won't sit back of his base zoomed in and be sniping people. He'll be pushing up with his team and be quick scoping people as he moves up. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I see the differences in their sniper skills. They're all amazing, but they're just different. I don't know.
I can agree with the difference in play styles and you favoring one over the other. I just think like the roll to snipe down, like / like cloud style of sniping is almost necessary to an extent. And formal takes a lot more risks, which gets formal in a lot more trouble when he might miss the shot or he might just get double teamed, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's only one person. It's a team situation, just like in sports, right? You know, even LeBron James, the greatest, he still isn't perfect in championships or in matches because the rest of his team has to come along, you know? And I think Royal 2, we also have to speak to the bodies that he's had around him. He's had some of the best support you could possibly ever dream of having as a sniper. You know, when you're looking at players like Lethal, APG, and Snake, but I don't think I'm forgetting anybody at all. But when you have them like as your front line and you get to sit behind that sniping,
you can say over too.
Yeah, it's
no,
true. I don't know, man. I don't know. We could have this discussion all day, but we also want to know what you guys think, so be sure to let us know.
Yeah, so like Hunter said, that's going to wrap up our thoughts on who is the greatest Halo sniper of all time. Make sure to let us know in the comment section, who do you think it is? Is it Snipe Down? Is it Royal 2? Is it Formal? Or is it someone that we didn't talk about in today's show? Be sure to stay involved, everyone, and let us know what you want to see in future shows. And keep in mind, it's every single Monday we're going to be dropping a new episode, so make sure to follow us on all of our social media. And as I say that, I want to pass it over to Justin before we go. And Justin, you know, you can pass it accordingly. Please let the people at home know where to find you and how to stay connected.
Yes, sir. As always, streaming every single day. Halo content, twitch.tv/Hunter_JJX. Twitter is also Hunter_JJX. Get connected with me. Would love to get you guys involved in the show. Wes, what you got going on, man?
Yeah, Twitter is going to be Wes_Clutch. And then the twitch.tv/InTheClutch is the original ITC everybody knows and loves. Tune in for probably me raging at me not being good enough to hang with the youngins nowadays. But I'm going to give it over to Faisal for him.
All right, everyone. You could find me streaming pretty much every day on Twitch at twitch.tv/Goofy. And my Twitter handle is Goofy with 2 Gs. So that's going to do it for today's show, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, please make sure to subscribe and comment as to what you want to see from us in the future shows. And we'll catch you guys next time.